Hello, my friends. So, for your significator today, we have the elk. So, I should say my elk friends. Okay, so, stable, resilient, headstrong, authentic. The great elk represents the earth element, of course, and the underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. When in balance, supportive, kind, consistent. When out of balance, pretentious, high, and mighty. To bring into balance, eat and drink more consciously. All right, my elk friends. Now, your tea leaf cards are very interesting. So the first one out is, you seem to be in need of a lot of reassurance right now. The first one out, you will be shown the way. Oh, sorry, I forgot. These are here, of course, to help you determine whether or not this is your reading. So, you will be shown the way. You are on the road to success. Those are really nice cards. There's over 200 cards in the tea leaf deck. I have to separate the deck into two halves in order to shuffle it, just so you know. Okay, so then November, it appears, has been or will be significant. You would know that already. And the card that came out underneath, it didn't come out, it was just underneath it, and it just really struck me because it was very much in alignment with the feeling I was getting from your first two cards. And that is Angel, Spiritual Guidance, Protection from Harm. So if that fits, go ahead and take it in. Bow, you are highly thought of, or perhaps you are very concerned about what others think of you. Then we have Crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise, and Elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. I'm not sure I would use the word mental. I think I would go with inner, a long journey, either an inner journey or an outer journey. And although it's the crib here is birth or conception of a child or enterprise, it may be a rebirth of yourself. But we will see what the other cards show. Oops, why did I grab this deck? I accidentally grabbed the wrong deck. And I started to shuffle, but then I stopped and looked at the bottom and found the Empress. This also, I'm not sure if this is an elk, a female elk. No, well, possibly. I can't tell for sure. So, female deer don't have antlers. So I'm a little unsure about that one. Okay, let's take a look at the animal tarot. The one I meant to grab. So we have the Fool coming out first in reverse. Next we have Ten of Pentacles. That almost sound like tentacles. Hopefully not. And then we have Strength in the upright. That's wonderful. So strength and the Hanged One, the Hanged Man, the Hanged One came out earlier today in a short reading I did. I think they came out in the same month. So I find it interesting they're both here now. Yeah, okay, that's good. They're both in the upright this time. I don't know why I'm waiting to read these to you, I just am. You have a lot of major arcana. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 9 cards, we have 5 major arcana. And the major arcana definitely do not constitute half the deck, so that is highly unlikely. So, we have the Fool in reverse. You're afraid to take a leap, the leap of faith. We have the Ten of Pentacles next to it in reverse, so it looks very much like financial concerns are what are on your mind right now, and probably a big factor in your fear of taking the leap. Next to that, we have the Six of Cups. So a sense of reminiscing, of looking back to the past, of remembering better times. Then we have Strength, looking very much like the Elk. So remember, strength is about soft strength. It's not about hard strength. So it is the strength of compassion for yourself and for others. It is understanding. It is sensitivity, awareness. All things that are falsely considered weaknesses and need to be rebalanced. For most of us, we need to learn to use these things to recognize their value and to learn to work with them. They are aspects of ourselves. We are all born with these capacities. Some of us more than others, but still, we can do better with what we have always. And then we have the Hanged One. The Hanged One calls for surrender, letting go of preconceived ideas, letting go of attachments. We have the Queen of Swords here. I don't think you are the Queen of Swords. You could be. The Queen of Swords can be very authentic and disciplined, as well as being a truth seeker and a truth speaker. Perhaps you are on your way to becoming the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords also has very good boundaries. So allowing and accepting and all these wonderful things doesn't mean you don't have good boundaries. Okay. It just means that I once saw a picture on a blackboard in a college. I don't know who had drawn it exactly. I know it was an instructor had drawn it. And I think if they weren't a psychology instructor, they would have been talking about relationships, because they had They had, I think it was 3 pairs on the board, stick figures, and there were one pair had nothing around them, no lines. One pair had solid lines. So there was, so these pairs were, you know, next to each other, but I think the pair that had no lines between them, there might have been a big circle around them. So that would have been a codependent kind of situation. And then there was the pair with, they were each in their own bubble. So there was, I think there was something on the board about no communication, no exchange. And then there was the third pair. The third pair had the bubbles around them, but the bubbles had, the bubbles weren't made of solid lines. They were made of dashed lines, if you know what I mean. So there were openings so that things could cross back and forth between them, but there was also enough of a line, a bubble, to allow each of them to be their own person. So that would be the Queen of Swords. Someone who is able to allow others in and is able to say no when needed. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is the grind phase, the phase where you're working and working and working, one little piece at a time, and it's tedious and boring, and it seems like it will never, ever end. Next to that, we have Death in reverse. This, of course, is a great transition, a time for change. It's interesting they have these fish here, or they're not fish. One's a fish lizard, one's a lizard, one's a fish. Perhaps the fish is becoming a lizard, or the lizard is becoming a fish. Who knows? It's definitely about change. And then we have Chariot, which would be rapid change, very rapid change. So I think once this, there's all this work to be done here, and you're starting off not wanting to make the leap, worried about financial things, thinking about the past. This is the row that's talking about the real work that needs to be done or completed. You may be in the midst of it. So then we have the Eight of Pentacles. The work is being worked on. It's not done. And then we have Death in reverse, so no change yet. But once a change does come, it seems that it will be very rapid. Okay. Let's see what the universe has to say about all this. Oops, sorry about that. Huh. That's different. First card out. Woman, you or the person on your mind. Not used to having that come out as the first card. Oh, all right. Next card is Diamond Ring. Proposal, engagement, agreement. Oop, next level. Just dropped the deck on the floor. Statement of intent, marriage or union. Partnership, long-term partnership. Commitment. Strategic planning. fox peeked at me. I was contemplating the fox card in this deck. Oh, well, it's not exactly on top. We'll see. Nothing wants to come out today. Everything's coming out face down or covered up by another card, which I don't take. Well, you did get Bouquet. I felt like your tarot cards were pretty pretty powerful this time. What's this? Oh, good luck. You got the ladybug. A vibrant, abundant life. What more can you ask for, right? I don't think you're going to get in so next to, oh, okay. We have Bouquet, happy, harmony, beauty, creativity, a gift, art, reconciliation, expressiveness, gratitude, appreciation, openness, love, warmth. Next to Ladybug, a vibrant, abundant life, happy, comfort, wishes coming true, good health. It says Bertha, daughter. And then we have fireworks. Passion, chemistry, lust, desire, kiss, celebrate, happiness, exhilaration, New Year, excitement. There may be a specific connection on your mind. This I see as the coming home to yourself. One of the coming home to yourself cards, since you are, it appears, a woman. Then it's appropriate for you to get the girl. It doesn't really matter. So the cards say child. One of them shows a boy, one of them shows a girl. Really doesn't matter whether it's male or female. The child, to me, represents a coming home to the self. So a renewal of, oh wow, innocence, so to speak. And, so some sort of deep soul connection, whether you identify as twin flames or not. Blooming love. Coming in with the doorbell. Welcome alert arrival. Announce someone's coming. Transition. It's interesting because your tarot cards are all about not being ready, about being afraid to take the leap, about still being in the process of doing the work, preparing for change, for transition. And here we have this indication of a new beginning, of a big new beginning. Or perhaps this is something that happened in the past that triggered a lot of the growth your tarot cards were talking about. It could be because you have the elk with this authenticity, a return to yourself in a sense. And now we have heart, mind, coherence. I don't read these cards exactly as written. That's my big issue with using cards with words on them already, is that I don't always agree with what the words say. But this one I see heart, mind, coherence. So your heart, mind, and your brain, physical mind, or 3D mind, material mind, I don't know, are coming into alignment. So ideally, there are many people who think that feelings matter more than facts. And then there are other people who think that facts matter more than feelings. The truth, of course, is that both matter. And both need to be integrated in some fashion or aligned. And that's how I see this card, is this alignment between the 3D mind and the heart mind. All right, is there anything else? It's amazing how difficult it is to get any cards out today. Once again, an emphasis on the heart. We have love, desire, joy, bliss, attraction or affection, kindness, forgiveness, romance, contentment, passionate, caring. I see this more as caring, and of course love. But it's next to the heart mind coherence card, so I think there's more of a focus on love. All right, so Lily, established, achievement. I see achievement with this. Maturity, development. Rising above. Definitely a new excuse me, a new perspective on things. Just grab some water. All right. Strategy, skill, transition, changes, higher self, third eye, far-reaching vision. I'm seeing 3 of Wands with this card. So the ability to see possibilities, potentialities. Very interesting. Things are being revealed to you, or becoming clear to you. There's been a mystery that's been driving you nuts, perhaps. And now you are learning things that have been hidden from you. Wow, okay. And it feels amazing, or this is how you will feel. Perhaps when that Chariot card starts kicking in. We have double rainbow, divine intervention. Ascension, I prefer evolution, but you need to stay here on this planet, so don't go thinking you're going to grow angel wings and fly away. Yes, developing over time, the good stuff. Alchemy. Aging well. And finally, a happy beginning, new day, darkest before the dawn, obstacles overcome. This is all very optimistic for you. All right, I want to take off this layer because, yeah. So this is all about a connection, probably a soul connection. And maybe taking it to the next level. Does seem like a lot of progress. What about your next step? We don't need to know about all of this right now. You need to know what you should be doing next, because you have Death in reverse here. You have the Fool in reverse. Okay. Strength, the Hanged One, the Queen of Swords. I believe these are your lessons, your lesson path, path. Interesting. Okay, so strength. Getting in touch with the soft forms of strength. Developing those aspects of yourself. Learning to let go, to surrender to the divine. You see this bird has a halo around it. There's definitely a lot of opening up, allowing the divine to act through you, perhaps. But this all has to be balanced out, or with this Queen of Swords, perhaps you're overly focused on seeing the truth of the situation instead of allowing things to unfold. That's a possibility. Let's see. We'll just take a peek at the archetype cards and see where that leads us. We have the beast and the animal in the cave, and the mountain. The animal is number 19, the cave is 32, and the mountain is 33. That's interesting. All right, number 19. The animal, the beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when the Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. When light, vital, elemental, alive, dances. When dark, savagery, pent-up emotion, lashing out. Notice your resistance to the animal within. Where does it come from? What has it kept you from doing, wild one? The animal demands we get comfortable in our own skin. The minute you accept, express, and celebrate the physical body, you tap into animal energy. Perhaps you do need to get a little more physical. All right, 32. You'll know what that means to you. The cave, the dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. This sounds a lot like strength. The strength card here. Okay. When light, the sacred center within. When dark, withdrawal, isolation, hiding. Slowly and steadily, crystals of enormous magnitude grow within the dark confines of caves. Let the cave teach you patience. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you need? What draws you ever closer to the cave within the cave? Interesting. And next we have the mountain. The ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience, yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purest and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. And we're not talking about that fool, of course. When light, grounded in the eternal, steadfast, uplifting. When dark, ominous, daunting, isolation, frigid. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. Interesting. All right, so, sorry, this is all off center. It seems great things are coming for you, honestly. You are on an amazing journey right now. I'm not sure exactly where you are in this journey because the Eight of Pentacles, it can take a long time, I think, the grind phase. I think of it as more, although this is a bird building a very nice nest, I think of it as more like removing stone from around a gem, a precious gem, mining. So perhaps you are still in that mining phase. Or refining stage, I should say. In any case, I think the most important thing is the getting in touch with that soft strength and allowing yourself to be who you really are. I am wishing you all the best. Till next time.